Here we go, episode 170 of the Hardline. We are live today. This will, of course, be available wherever you get your podcasts immediately after. Michael Merlo, John Michael Masiri, here with you. A lot to do. Thursday night football, a little week 6 preview. I got a bone to pick with the Lions, and of course, the Major League Baseball playoffs. Yankees eliminated, Phillies eliminated. We will give Mike the floor in a little bit to talk about his Yankees, who went down Wednesday night. Lots to get to, JM. I jumped out of bed this morning. With the night that I had. How are you doing today?
I'm doing not as good as you. The ultimate hate watch for you went great, and then obviously it's like a double hate watch. Your Giants win and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. It's like double the joy. So I'm doing good. Did you tune into WIP at all?
So, when you go to the gym, right? I went to the gym around 9 o'clock this morning. You listen to music, right?
Yeah.
Pumped up. Yeah, no music for me this morning. It was straight WIP while I was lifting some weights. I'm a sick human being.
You're sick.
It's funny. They're actually sad. Like, they're very sad today. They're not, like, over the top. They're not screaming. It's sadness, and I want more of a reaction. So I'm not as happy with the hate list.
Is it sadness about the Phillies more? I would imagine they're probably sadder about the Phillies, angrier about the Eagles.
Yeah, they're pissed about the Eagles. From what I've listened to, it's sadness with the Phillies because when we get to the playoffs in the baseball, we'll talk about it. It's over for this core, for this run. It's probably done for them. So we'll talk about that when we get to them in a little bit. We are going to start off, though, with the Giants. Thursday night football. They killed them. They made them. It looked like they quit last night in Philadelphia in that third quarter. It just looked like they quit. The Giants were the better team on all three phases, and it looks and feels different right now in that building with these two guys running the show, Jackson Dart and Cam Skubal.
Yeah, it was quite the game. I couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. I made my thoughts known about the Eagles that I think that they're going to take a step back from last year. I thought it was going to come on later in the season. Obviously, it's come on very fast. Now they've lost 2 in a row. One bad one at home to the Broncos, who are a good team, but still you should beat the Broncos on your home turf. And then yesterday, it really wasn't much of a close contest after the first half. The second half, the Giants just pulled away. And I think this is one of those, when you look on both sides, the Giants had a great week. They look really good, and that should be celebrated and talked about. And then the Eagles look bad, and that should be talked about, because I think this team right now has some major concerns. And I think if you're a Giants fan, the future, you're excited about it right now.
Definitely excited about the future. The vibes are different, right? These guys are fun. They're young kids, and they're fun. And I think that's what is so, refreshing, because he had Saquon Barkley, and it was fun to watch him, and Daniel Jones, and this and that. But it wasn't, it wasn't exciting. You didn't feel that excitement, that energy from those guys. And, watching them on the post-game show Thursday Night Football last night with Fitzpatrick taking his shirt off with Skubal, and you got, Richard Sherman doing quizzes on Star Wars with Jackson Dart. It's fun. It's different. And whether they're not going to the playoffs, we know that. But to be able to watch this, because you know it just as well as I do, we've had nothing in this town with our football teams. Nothing. So they could go 6-11, and it could look different, and it could be fun. And that's a massive improvement.
Yeah. That is what we saw. What we saw yesterday is what we've been trying to see out of Brian Daboll for years now. And the vision that everybody had for him. When he has a quarterback like Jackson Dart, who can keep his eyes down the field, stay poised in the pocket. Now, listen, Dart didn't play a perfect game yesterday. He still got a lot of things to work on, like protecting himself, number one.
Yeah.
The guy he's headbutting people to get an extra couple of yards. He's got to stop hanging out with Cam Skubal somewhere. But overall, he played a really nice game. He was able to extend some plays, stay with his eyes downfield in the pocket when pressure got in his face, escape. That play to Wandale, the touchdown, was a beautiful play. Really nice job out of him there. So that's what this this franchise and these fans have envisioned with Brian Daboll to happen one day. And if I'm Daboll, there's a reason why he put the kid in so early. He's trying to put as much proof out there that he's the coach that is the right one to develop this guy and to protect his job, because we all know that Brian Daboll, if this season goes down the tubes, he's not going to have any time left in New York.
Right. And it was his decision. I mean, they made it so clear. This wasn't ownership. This wasn't Joe Shane.
Yep.
This was all Brian Daboll. And whether this looked good, whether this looked bad, he was going to get praised or he was going to get blamed and fired. Yeah. And so far, it looks good. Doesn't look great. It looks good. And I think if, whether they win, I don't know how many games they're going to win. The schedule's tough. They go to Denver, then they go to Philly the next 2 weeks. I mean, they might only win 5 games this year. They're at 2 right now. Yeah. They win 5 games, but it feels like this. You're close in these games, and Dart is showing improvement week after week. I think he stays. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but I think they're going to give him some time here if this kid looks good and starts to develop.
I think he should stay regardless, to be honest with you. Even if he doesn't have, even if Dart, let's say this was his best game of his rookie season and he starts to really struggle down the stretch, I still think they should keep Daboll on, because to me, choosing to keep Brian Daboll this offseason was almost like hiring him again, because now you bring in the rookie quarterback and you got to let this quarterback develop under one coach. You don't want to start bringing new faces in 1 year in, new offensive coordinators, all this stuff. So I think they should give Daboll at least 2 years to develop the guy. Now, luckily for him, that is not a concern for them right now. I mean, it looks like he's doing a great job so far. The funniest thing I think I've seen in a little while, and I love it because I can relate to it, like Jets fans make fun of Giants fans, vice versa. Mets fans make fun of Yankee fans, but most of the time, they're either rooting for each other's teams, they don't realize it, like Yankees and Giants fans and Jets and Yankees, whatever. Yeah. But they're all New Yorkers and they all act the same. When they brought Russell Wilson in for a play and the whole place is booing the crap out of him, like aggressively booing him, I was hysterical laughing.
I feel bad for him.
So do I. I'm like, this guy, like, he almost won you a game. He played like the best Giant quarterback game in a really long time in Dallas. You could at least give him a little bit of sympathy.
I feel really bad for Russ. Like, he's just like public enemy number 1 right now for no reason. And then Dart walks on the field the next drive and he gets this massive standing ovation. I feel bad for Russ.
Honestly, just thinking for Russ, I can't imagine now that this is his 3rd team since the Seahawks. I can't imagine that there's going to be another starting job for him out there somewhere in the future. So he's going to have to make a choice to be a backup and maybe fight for a starting job somewhere, the off chance, or honestly just hang it up. I mean, I don't know if you want to be a backup quarterback at 37 years old with a Super Bowl ring.
I think it's very interesting that the Bengals made the move for Flacco. And I don't know. We don't know if they called the Giants or not on one of those 2 guys, on Winston or Wilson. But, like, man, it does feel a little weird.
I can't imagine that if they did call the Giants, who have a feasible 3rd string quarterback in Jameis Winston, that, like, they would have called them, considering they traded for a division rival's quarterback. I think the Giants would essentially give up Wilson for free if the Bengals called, but they didn't.
Yeah, if he wanted to go, if they would ask him if he wanted to go, and if he wanted to go, they would have done it 100%. What's weird? Not weird. I mean, it is a little weird. I'll say it's weird. You see, like, this love affair that Daboll has with Dart.
Yeah,
like, you've seen it. It's weird. No,
yeah, it is. Weird. It is a little weird. I think he's really just selling out. He's like, my whole entire job is riding on you. Like, I'm just going to.
But it is. Like, it literally is.
Yeah. Yeah. He just knows that if he's playing well, he's saving his ass. So it's like it's double the excitement for him.
It's absolutely fascinating. Yeah. The energy's great. Can I hate for a second?
Go on.
Saquon Barkley went out the door. Okay. And just completely dumped on the New York Giants the entire way. He wins a Super Bowl. He's Offensive Player of the Year, has one of the greatest seasons of all time. And now he's got a freaking documentary coming out. It came out yesterday. Okay. And of course, there's more dumping on the New York Giants in that documentary. Let me just say this, Saquon. Hope you enjoyed your 1-year wonder. Hope you had a great year. Hope you enjoyed last night getting completely shut down. Hope you enjoyed the guy we got instead of you, Burns, who we gave real money to, which is really paying off. And we got a running back in the 4th round. Never pay a running back. Draft them late. Develop them. Look what we got. Screw you, Saquon Barkley. That's all I have to say. Hope the documentary was worth it, loser. I can't. Oh my God.
Yeah, Saquon looks weird right now. Honestly, I can't believe that it's like the guy's still 28, 29 years old, whatever he is. Not even. I think he's 28 years old. So you know that he's still got talent in there. He's got a lot of stuff left in the tank. So I don't know if there's something wrong with him right now, or if it's more the Eagles' offensive line, or honestly, I think it's Hurts. Because I'm looking at the game yesterday, when the Giants, right before Hurts threw the pick, which was a horrible interception to Flott.
Flott's nasty.
They're at the 15-yard line. It's 1st and 10. It was the play where A.J. Brown, where there was that weird like collision. They didn't call pass interference. They picked the flag up, whatever.
Yes.
In that play, they were in like a I think the Eagles were. Oh, they're right. They were in the shotgun. They had like 3 receivers on the field, 4 receivers. They were in some sort of like tight twins formation, and the Giants had 8 guys in the box, and I'm like, they got 8 guys in the box right now. Like they're not even. Doesn't even look like they're gonna run the ball. Like at best, you could do just a regular inside zone, and you got 5 guys blocking for you on the interior. And they still put 8 guys in the box. So I think it's just like nobody is threatened by Jalen Hurts anymore. And why would they be? I mean, if I'm game planning to play the Eagles and I'm seeing all those attempted passes downfield or lack thereof, I'd stack the box up too.
Hey, let's move this to them. Their offensive line doesn't look that great this year. They still have the names, but they're not playing to the level at which you expect them to.
They miss Becton. They actually, I think they miss Mekhi Becton, which is crazy, but I think that's hurting them.
They are not like their bread and butter. Okay, their bread and butter is running the football. They need to run the football. So they haven't been doing that well early on. And the first couple of games they were, but the last 3 games now they haven't been doing that. And now you have A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith bitching, and you got to get them the ball because you need to keep them happy. But really what they need to do to win football games is establish the run, be aggressive running the football, and then get the ball to those guys.
Yep.
And it's not working. And then you're going to cause, there are issues in that locker room. Clearly. I mean, you see this thing with Hurts and Barkley apparently having a meeting, and they said AJ was involved, and AJ's like, I wasn't a part of this meeting. Like, what the hell is going on there?
I don't know. And that's the part that I think where Sirianni really struggles is I think when you have a leader like Nick Sirianni is, and he likes to get into the media, and he's a little bit of a controversial character and stuff like that, that carries over in your locker room where when you're winning is the greatest makeup out there, right? Like it solves all problems. Nobody, if you see a guy do a first down, signal celebration and your team's up 30 points, everybody thinks it's cool. If you're down 30 points, you say, look at this idiot. So I think that's kind of what's happening with the Eagles here is as they struggle, these locker room problems, if you want to call them that, kind of start rising up and becoming these news stories where in the past, Super Bowl champions being the best team in football, nobody would care. But now people are going to start to care.
Yeah, and it's like they look predictable. They look very predictable. And if this isn't like this looks like 2023. I mean, you said it 3 weeks ago. It looks like 2023. And I wasn't there yet. I was like, I don't know, give it some time. But it's kind of the same thing where you hired an offensive coordinator in-house after you had Shane Steichen, who got a job and was great after winning a Super Bowl. Kellen Moore, win the Super Bowl, leave. And this is what you have. You have a guy that may be a little overwhelmed, that's never called plays. You hired him in-house, and it's really similar.
I mean, first of all, thanks for the comment, CJ. Didn't get the fade. I haven't gotten the fade yet.
There we
so.
go. Yeah, there we go. That's nice.
This is not the fade. Don't worry. So my problem with it is this offensive coordinator talk, I feel like just speaks to how overrated Jalen Hurts is. And I know that I said last week, I was like, he's almost becoming underrated at this point because everybody's realizing that he is overrated. But does anybody know, like, actually or everybody knows, but does anybody care who Patrick Mahomes' offensive coordinator is, who Josh Allen's offensive coordinator is, who all these guys' offensive coordinators are? Like, if you're an elite quarterback, the offensive coordinator changing should not take you from one of the best to one of the worst offenses in the league, right? That should not happen. So the fact that that's even a conversation just proves that, like, when is Jalen Hurts going to actually prove that, oh, there's a reason this guy gets paid $55 million a year or whatever it is. It's because he's an elite quarterback that could put his team on his back when they need him to. I don't think he could do it.
He showed it in flashes, right? Like that Ram game, he was great in the second half of that Rams game. And obviously they win on the blocked field goal, but he really put them in position to do so. He was great. But yeah, like that missed throw, that missed opportunity to Devonta Smith, down the seam there, like you have to hit that throw. It's a touchdown. And now you're talking about a completely different ball game. You have to hit him there. Little miscommunication, whatever it was, a bad overthrow. I would agree. I think there have been some cases where you do have the elite quarterbacks and you're kind of questioning who's calling plays. I think it stems from the head coach. With Andy Reid, you're not really worried about it. It's either been Eric Bieniemy or Matt Nagy who's been calling plays, which you never think about, but it's really Andy Reid's playbook and whatnot. Andy Reid is calling some plays. With Allen, it has been a question, right? Remember, before they hired Joe Brady, it was Ken Dorsey. Dorsey got fired. And since they hired Joe Brady, you don't even think about it. And Brady may get a job, in a year or two from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do think it matters a little bit, but I think when it's overblown the way it is in Philadelphia, that's where I think your point comes across.
It matters, but like,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, how could you go from? I can't believe that an offensive coordinator could make your team flip flop like that offensively. Now, they have lost some guys on the offensive side of the ball. We talked about Becton. Obviously, I mean, they lost Kelsey 2 years ago. They won the Super Bowl without him, but I don't know if Mekhi Becton was like covering up for Cam Jurgens or what it was, but maybe he's struggling now too.
Dickerson's out, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Dickerson's been out, so they've been a little banged up, but I don't know. I don't know what's happening to this team. This is why dynasties in the NFL are so hard to come by, especially if you don't have what's viewed as like a generational quarterback. I think everybody, no matter how you feel about Jalen Hurts, I don't think anybody could put the word generational next to his name.
No.
So this is why it's so difficult. You could have such a great roster, but guys have down years, guys get hurt, stuff happens, things get exposed, and this is what happens.
AJ's gone at the end of the year, right?
AJ's gone. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know why he would stay. If I'm him, you've already had the success here. You got your Super Bowl ring. If it's really worth it to you, depending on what the availabilities could be, I would rather go somewhere at this stage in his career where he just could maximize his numbers as much as possible rather than, go to another Super Bowl contender and maybe have a little bit less of a role.
He could go to a Super Bowl contender. Pretty sure Mike Vrabel would take him back. We're gonna get to the Patriots. We'll get to the Patriots in a little bit. Next year.
Okay.
Next
All
year.
right. Next
I think he stays this year. I don't think they're trading him this year. He's not getting traded in season.
I was just the Super Bowl contender, and then Mike Vrabel comment really threw me back.
Next season. You don't think the Patriots going to be Super Bowl contenders next year?
They could be. I mean, I still got to see a little bit more. I'm not going to overreact out of one impressive win on Monday Night Football. I mean, this is also a team that went down to the wire with the Dolphins. So,
okay. So we're going to talk about the Patriots. We're going to get to the Patriots in a little bit. We will move on from the Giants and the Eagles. Feeling great today. You never beat that team, man. You never beat them, and it feels good.
What was there a stat on that? The last time they beat them?
They beat them 2 years ago, week 18. The Eagles needed the game for seeding. They played their guys in the first half. We had Tyrod playing, and they actually kicked the crap out of them in the first half to the point where they put Mariota in the second half. So
yeah, but when was like the last? I know that sounds a little legit, but like when was the legit time that they beat them?
Probably they didn't beat them in 16. I don't remember.
Wow,
it's been a while. It's been a lot. They haven't won there in forever though, and they get to do it 2 weeks from now. So we'll see if the Eagles get things right.
Yeah,
but they haven't won there in forever. And the Giants haven't beat the Cowboys. We know that's that in a very low time.
Yeah, which I forgot was still a stat because they were so close to doing it in week 2 and didn't. But
it's been a really long time.
Unfortunately, now you look back at that game and you're like,
I look back at the Saint game because, like, listen, they shouldn't have won the game. They turned the ball over 5 times. Like, you're obviously not going to do that. But it's a winnable game. You go into that game feeling like it's a winnable one. And if you don't turn the ball over 5 times, you don't know what happens. I'm pissed about that because if they were 3-3 today, I'd be even more happy. And then you have that one too. So it sucks. It does suck.
Yeah, 3-4, 4-3 quickly turns to 2-5 when stuff like that, or 2-4, or whatever, when that stuff happens. Yeah.
Next week. I mean, how could you expect them to go into Denver and even be? I don't even expect them to be competitive in that game.
Look at Denver getting the 2 New York teams and not actually playing them in New York.
I really like the Jets this week.
Why?
I love the Jets this week. I feel like I've said
what's
this
the spread?
Week. I think it's 7 now. It was 7.5. I can get it back to 7.5. I'm taking them Sunday morning.
God bless, because I don't know why you would do that.
Oh,
there is nothing that team has shown me to be like, oh yeah, I feel good about them.
No, Glenn. I still trust Glenn. Glenn's got me this week.
Okay.
Glenn's got me Sunday morning. I can't wait.
Got me 0-6.
Well, yeah, you're probably going to be 0-6.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, let's move on. I got to talk about the Lions here. We're going to talk about the best team in the NFC, but it's really going to be the Lions. I've seen this now that, the Lions don't miss the coordinators, and everybody who thought that, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn were going to be these massive losses, you're an idiot. They're still very talented, and they are. And I'll take an L on that because they look great, and they're very competitive. But the one thing I will say, you beat the Bears, you beat the Bengals, you beat a terrible Ravens defense, and you killed the Browns at home. Can we pump the freaking brakes? Can we pump the brakes here? Can I see you play a real team? Let's see how they fare against Kansas City this week. If they go into Kansas City and put up 30-plus points, I will fully take an L on them not missing the coordinators. But Christ almighty, you've played nobody. And we're doing victory laps in the street.
I think I think this is coming from a bad place. I think this is coming from you not liking you not liking Dan Campbell and being heavily invested in the coordinators. And now I think you've been proven wrong. And
I don't think I've been proven wrong yet.
Listen, I get it. Like, they lost to the Packers. They looked like crap. And then it seemed like all those takes were going to be correct. And now they've gone on this tear offensively, scoring anywhere from 30 to 50 points every week. And yeah, I know, the Ravens at this point, although, I don't know, I still view that Ravens win as impressive. I mean, that was coming off of the Ravens in week 1 had that great game against the Bills where they lost by 1 point. And nobody seemed to think, the Ravens are in trouble after that game. It was just, no, that's a classic. And then they beat the Browns, and then they play the Lions. And I thought that was a very impressive win. And then ever since then, the Ravens haven't looked great, but Lamar also got hurt. And I know the defense has its problems, big problems. But to me, it's the NFL. Like, if you could score 30 to 50 points 4 weeks in a row, it's most likely because you have a really good offense. So I get it. I'm very interested to see how this game goes. The pressure is big time on the Chiefs in this game. Obviously, they're 2-3 coming off of a bad primetime loss against the Jags. So it'll be really fun to watch, but I think the Lions they're a force to be reckoned with again. I think that we were all wrong. I said it too. I think that they were going to take a step back. I don't think they're going to take a step back.
Can I say this? And it's a compliment. I don't know. It's really just to one guy. Like, maybe Goff is just really good.
He is very good. Yeah, he's as good as it could get for the type of quarterback that he is. He's very good pocket passer, very good play action quarterback. You know he's not going to beat you with his athleticism, but he's going to sit in there, execute the game plan, and
make most throws.
Make most throws. Yeah, he's a great quarterback.
He's legit. I don't know where quick top 10. Where does he rank? Because he's moving up the list for me. He is moving up the list. I would have probably had him at like 10.
Guys I would take over him. I mean, Jalen Hurts at this point has flown down my list. I'd
take Goff over Hurts right now.
I'd take Baker over Goff. I'd take Jaden Daniels. To me is just such a weird one to rank because he has been hurt, but I'll still take Jaden Daniels over him.
Yeah.
Herbert, Burrow, Lamar, Allen, Mahomes. So it's at 7
Dak.
now.
I'm taking Dak over him, but I think it's close.
I'm taking Stafford. Yeah, I'm taking Dak is close. I agree, but I am taking him very closely over him. I'm taking Stafford over him.
Really?
And then I'm probably putting him there. I'll probably put him 9 or 10 around with like guys like Jordan Love and Darnold. Jalen Hurts ends up around Darnold, man. Sammy D slinging that pill, man. He looked good last week. Bad last play of the game. A little unlucky with the
hit off the helmet, right?
Hit the helmet, but he still shouldn't have thrown that ball. That was not a smart decision there. But Sammy D looks good. Oh, my Hawks, man, they look good, but they keep letting me down. This team could be 5-0, and they're 3-2.
They do look good. I think they're the second best team in that division. I think they're better than San Francisco. And I think the Rams are still better.
San Francisco is in the lead right now, and I agree. I view them as like the third best team. Which you know what? Can we go there? Can we go
that's fine.
Friend?
Yeah.
I don't even know this is written down, but let's go off script.
We're in the NFC. We can do whatever we want.
We want to talk about how narrative. I think hold on, let me reset. There's too many things going on in my mind right now. Narratives, right? We do this thing in football where we'll have a narrative, say that it's been proven right, and then just move on. But then, like, as time goes on, you're kind of like, wait a minute, something's happening here. So with Brock Purdy, right? He came onto the scene. Everybody was like, this is all Kyle Shanahan. This is a system quarterback. He's just executing the system well. He's got all these weapons around him, blah, blah, blah. And then as time went on, it changed. It was like, wait a minute. Brock Purdy's kind of balling. Like, we got to give this guy some respect. I think we're starting to go backwards again. I think now Mac Jones is proving that, like, hey, maybe it is all Kyle Shanahan.
I can't stop thinking about the alternate universe where the Niners took Mac Jones instead of Trey Lance.
And I remember that was like a big rumor at the time. And obviously, Jack, my friend Jack is like a huge Niners fan. I remember trolling him before the draft, like, can't wait for you guys to get Mac Jones. That should have been the pick looking back.
There were a lot of reports that when they traded up, that was the pick.
Yep.
That was the guy. And it changed throughout their process leading up to the draft where it then became Trey Lance. But when they made the trade, it was for Mac Jones.
Yep.
But they were comfortable enough taking Trey because of the work that they did on him. Obviously, that was a massive failure. And I can't stop thinking about that. I agree. It's a lot of Shanahan. It is. We knew that.
Yeah.
But Purdy, like, when you get to a Super Bowl and you're in the postseason, you got to give the guy some credit. So I think they had no choice but to pay him. He sort of paid his dues as well. He was Mr. Irrelevant, obviously, making no money. So, yeah, it's tough. They were in a really tough situation because they didn't have that, that Sam Darnold, that Mac Jones, that guy that they thought could take over and put them in a good spot. They didn't have it.
They held on to Darnold.
Right.
Like, holy crap. Darnold, I like salivate thinking about how Sam Darnold would look in this system. He would have, I really think seeing how Sam Darnold plays now, and like this is turning into Brock Purdy disrespect hour. I don't like Brock Purdy has talent. He's not just, some scrub that just flourishes from Shanahan. You have to have some talent to be able to do it. But if Darnold's playing like Darnold has developed into now, and he's on that San Fran team that lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I think they win the Super Bowl. I think that he's a better quarterback than Purdy. And I think that he takes them to a Super Bowl victory in 2023 instead of losing it.
Well, he definitely has more talent, a little bit, bigger body, bigger arm, more accurate. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with it that he would be a better version of what that team was if he was leading the team. It's a lot of Shanahan. Shanahan's a very up and down coach. 1 year they're great. 1 year is a ton of injuries and they suck. They're very up and down. And last year, I remember I picked them to miss the postseason, and you were shocked. You were like, "Really? You always loved the Niners?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't like they're up and down. This is what they do."
Yep.
And this is supposed to be an up year for them.
Now, I mean, they just went into LA. That was a huge win for them, but they have a cakewalk schedule.
Yes.
This weekend is going to be one of their toughest games of the year. It might literally be the toughest game of the year for them.
I like the Niners.
Looking on, but yeah, I mean, upcoming, they got the Bucks on the road this weekend. Then they got the Falcons the next week at home on Sunday Night Football. Then they go to play the Texans on the road. And then they play your G-Men on the road. So
tough game.
They might. That win was really, really, really big for them in LA because it might just help them win the division by default with how easy their schedule is now, giving them a little bit of a buffer. And they'll try to go for the season sweep when they play the Rams at home. But I'm still not a believer in them this year. I think that the Bosa injury is going to catch up to them. I think that not having, great weapons in general and a banged up George Kittle and, I don't obviously want this to happen, but you never know what's going to happen with McCaffrey if he's going to be able to stay healthy the whole year. So the verdict's still out on the Niners. I'm still not sold on them.
Did you look at the spread just now when you saw the Niner-Buck game?
I did not see the spread, though.
What do you think the spread is in Tampa Bay?
Mac
Jones playing.
Tampa Bay, 3.5.
All right, you kind of got it. It's 3. I'm a little shocked by that.
Yeah.
No? I know Tampa has 0 home field advantage. It's a lot of respect for Shanahan and Mac Jones there.
That is a lot of respect.
And a little disrespect towards Baker and the Bucs.
Yeah, I would say maybe if I could do the line myself, maybe like -5, 5.5 or something like that.
They were 3.5-point dogs this week in Seattle, which is going out west, tough place to play. I get that. I understand that. Seattle's got a good defense, good coach, good quarterback. I understand that.
But that's another team talking about the Bucs. That's another team that the verdict's still kind of out on them. I mean, they're 4-1. They've been having a good year, but a lot of these games have been down to the wire, decided by last-minute field goals and stuff. So
great late,
they could easily be 2-3 right now, the Bucs.
But he's so clutch late. I mean, how good he is playing like an MVP. He is legit playing like an MVP candidate right now.
And I said it on the prediction show. Looking back, I never ended up actually putting any money on it. Emeka Egbuka was like the most obvious offensive rookie of the year ever, and I don't know why we didn't see it coming more. But
I drafted Travis Kelce over him. I had the choice. I drafted Travis Kelce over him in our league.
Getting him in fantasy, but I was like, I was gonna take him like a round and a half ahead of where he was ranked, and I'm like, I can't do that. And
it would have been the right choice.
He's
been great, and they're gonna get Evans back, and that's just it's gonna help both of them out.
Yeah, they're gonna have too many receivers now.
Godwin's good, but I mean, he's probably cooked.
Yeah, I mean, this is also Evans has had this injury a couple of years. He had it last year. He's getting up there in age, so we'll see. I mean, I still think Egbuka, when Evans comes back, is still going to be the number one guy on this offense.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Anything else in the NFC here? Or can we move to this AFC West and AFC South races? Because these look interesting. Got a lot to do still. Got the MLB playoffs. JM's gonna do a little rant, I'm sure, on the Yankees.
I might disappoint you.
I'll gloat on the Phillies loss.
Yeah, you'll
Ryan Kirkland. I actually feel really bad for the guy.
So do I.
I do feel really bad.
We'll get to it, but horrible decision.
Oh, he's a moron. But
yeah.
AFC West. Are the Chargers just gonna blow this thing? But the Chargers.
I think so.
They go 3-0 in the division to start the year. The Raiders stink, but they beat the Chiefs in Brazil. They beat the Broncos. Like, is this going to be one of those years where they just choke this away?
I think so. They I don't know if it's Herbert, if it's just the entire team. I don't know what it is, but they just can't close out football games, or they can't just put good runs together over the course of a season. It's like it always seems with them like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Like you never can get momentum going with this team, and they're doing it again.
A lot of mistakes last week. The score didn't really indicate how badly, like how close the game was, because if Herbert doesn't throw the pick inside the 10 and there's no penalty on the McConkey punt return, that's a completely different game. They shoot themselves in the foot. Now, listen, they have a ton of injuries. They are banged up on the offensive line. Slater and Alter are not playing. So, I mean, they're really, really banged up. But, like, man, they got off to this start, and you're sitting there saying this is a Super Bowl caliber team with Jim Harbaugh leading them. Herbert is playing the best football of his career to start a season, and now it kind of feels like they're going in a big way backwards.
I don't know what it is. They got the injuries now with Hampton, and Najee Harris is out for the year, so that's big for them. They just can't consider, like, I don't get the same feel with the Chargers where you could, in week 1, right? They're just throwing the ball all over the field. Their offense looks amazing. It looks like they had a good game plan going. I don't see them doing that week to week now. They can't execute game plans properly, and they pass it. Honestly, I'm shocked. I think they pass it too much now. I think Harbaugh has like done a complete 180 and gone a little too far into the passing. We know that they've had some injuries on both sides of the ball. Obviously, the big one was Rashawn Slater before the season even start. Alt got hurt in the Giants game. They've been banged up, but I don't know. At this point, it's anybody's, except the Raiders. It's anybody's division. The Broncos have done a 180. They looked like they were going to have a down year, and now they've been playing really good football as of late. So it's going to be really fun to see how this shakes up. And ultimately, like you get the feeling like Kansas City's still going to end up winning this thing.
They're probably going to end up winning it. Like if I had to guess, it's going to be Kansas City.
Yeah.
But Denver, like I never thought they'd have a down year, but it totally looked like it was going to be a really slow start. Very sluggish. Maybe they're just going to finish 9-8 again and sneak in. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
Sean Payton has Bo Nix playing a little bit better now the last few weeks. Defense has always been really good.
Yeah.
And they're starting to really click. And they played very well against, that Eagle team. And I don't know what to make of that win anymore, after the last 2 weeks. I don't know how impressive that one is, but they're really starting to get it going. And they're so talented.
Talking about Denver, you don't get the feel that they're just going to go into London on the national stage and just like 31-10 Broncos.
No, I think it could be like 31-17 and then late touchdown Jets.
Backdoor cover.
Backdoor, yeah.
Backdoor. Well,
the Jets are not going to have any chance in this game. I'm not that's what I'm not saying that.
Well, but that Justin Fields, once they're down 3 possessions, he turns into like the best quarterback in the league.
Do you see this from like big accounts too on Twitter? Like FanDuel's posting this. I mean, these people, man. And then you got people buying this crap.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, he's not playing that bad. He's awful.
He's
awful.
He's awful. Yeah, he's not playing. Like I've seen like his numbers, and they're like, Justin Fields is not the problem in New York. Like just admit to me that you haven't watched the games, and we'll be all good.
Like he's literally like, I'm making numbers up here, but he's got to be like 10 for 12, with like 150 yards in garbage time against the Cowboys on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just like, how do his numbers look that good after playing that poorly? You're a little blurry. You move it too much. No, stop moving. Stop moving. Let it focus.
Sometimes you have to cover, like if I cover the camera.
You gotta let it focus back into you. That's what you gotta do.
I'll just be blurry the rest of the show.
No, you're gonna be fine. You were just coming back. Oh, you're just coming back. You were just coming back. But yeah, this division race, it's going to get interesting. I think the Chiefs are going to have a really good shot to win it. And the Chargers, man, they're disappointing the hell out of me. I got a bet on them. I got a couple of bets on them. And I'm scared. I'm legitimately scared right now.
I didn't end up the one bet that I've been sweating all year so far, and I'm just going to continue to sweat. It's the only future besides the Puka Offensive Player of the Year bet. It's the only future that I put in, and it was Jags and Rams parlayed together to win the division. And this is going to be like, I know it's going to be like a week 18, like down to the wire scenario for both teams.
Well, let's get into that right now. Who do you trust more? And I asked you this on when we were in the car together Tuesday. I was like, who do you trust more? Is it the Jags or is it Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen? And I told you I think it's Daniel Jones and the Colts because I've seen Daniel Jones, with lesser talent, of course, play mistake-free football. I've seen that happen for a full season. I've never really seen Trevor Lawrence play mistake-free football. And not that they should play scared, but I've just seen Daniel Jones take care of the football and not turn it over. Trevor Lawrence done it his entire career.
I mean, to me, the Colts look better, but at the same time, when like that Jags win spoke a lot to me, actually. Like, I don't care if you're in Jacksonville, beating the Chiefs on a Monday Night Football game like that, especially late in the game, putting a drive together like that, is really big and showed a lot to me. But yeah, when you talk about the quarterbacks, I mean, I could see a scenario where Trevor Lawrence turns the ball over in a crucial game and loses the Jags game. But at the same time, the Colts, it's Daniel Jones, first of all. Like, let's remember, this is Daniel Jones. Yeah, he might be able to put together a pretty good year, but at the end of the day, he's not an elite quarterback. And the Colts haven't really beat anybody notable to me yet. Besides, like, the Broncos win was impressive, but this schedule has been pretty easy for them so far. And the one game they did lose was the Rams kind of were doing whatever they wanted against them offensively. So I got to see the Colts play a big opponent, get the win. We're not going to be able to see them play the Jags until like week 15 or something, or week 14. They don't play until way later in the season. They play like week 17, I think week 14.
So you're sweating that one out.
Yeah, but Texans, I don't really view as a threat anymore. I don't think anybody does at this point. And obviously, it's between these two teams, and I don't know. It's like whose quarterback could mess up less, I think, is going to win the division.
Right. And yeah, talking about cakewalk schedules with the Lions, I'm going to go take a look at who the Colts have beaten.
Yeah.
It's the Raiders and the Dolphins and who they just played last week.
Broncos, Titans, and Raiders.
And the Bronco game again, and I'll scream this to the top of my lungs because I had the Broncos that day. They shouldn't have won that game. They got bailed out on a stupid call. Then their kicker, who's out for the year now, made a huge field goal. So please get out of here with that. Should have lost that football game.
Trying to see the Jaguars got coming up here. I
think they lose. I think your boys this week. Yeah,
they got a tough two games. Yeah, this is like my Super Bowl, the Hawks and the Jaguars, and then they got the Rams in.
I lost you there. I don't know if you hear me still. I lost you. I can't hear you. What? I can't hear you. That's a great London game.
All right, I think I figured it.
I got you.
Okay.
That's a great London game.
Big London game, and I was saying that their schedule lightens up after the Rams game, but I don't know, Mike. I can't believe this is what it is. The Colts. Like, I thought the Jags could get it done. They just got to get past the Texans. And then here come the big bad Colts, who have the potential offensive player of the year right now in Jonathan Taylor.
He looks good, no? It's by the way, it's Puka, but yes.
It is Puka. Not because I put a bet in.
No, it is. It's Puka. It is Puka. It's definitely Puka. Can I talk about the Patriots for a second before we get to baseball? This will be a long one today. Drake May, the last not just what he did on Sunday Night Football, but what he did the 2 weeks prior, dominating the Panthers. They should have beat the Patriots at home. They turned the ball over 3 times, twice in the red zone. Should have beat the Steelers that day too. But either way, and I can't stand the Steelers, how bailed out they're getting, but whatever. He looks good. He looks special. And he looks special in that Sunday Night Football game. His ability to move, he's got a great arm. He could throw on the run. He makes these off-platform throws. I mean, he's playing with, I think, lesser talent around him than a lot of guys. Offensive line still isn't great, Diggs is the only true weapon. Ramondre can't stop fumbling the ball. They're not going to Henderson full time yet. Gibson's out for the year now. Like the personnel isn't great around him. And yet he's doing special things the last couple of weeks, and I couldn't be more impressed.
Is he going to be the best quarterback from his draft class?
There's a good chance. I would put my money on him.
Yeah.
Because I think Vrabel has issues. I think Vrabel had a lot of issues in Tennessee. Okay. People want to praise Vrabel, this and that. And I like Vrabel a lot, but I understand that there were issues caused by him, power struggle in Tennessee. But I think the fact that May is tied to a guy like Vrabel, who's now in a better situation in New England with a stable ownership, I think this is going to be a tandem for years to come that is going to torture the AFC.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, I really like Drake May. I liked him coming out of college. To me, when the Patriots got him, like, how typical is it of this draft that the Bears had the number 1 pick? And the way it's going to shake up is Caleb will probably, who knows how his career is going to end up, but we'll probably look back and say, wow, the Bears could have had Drake May, or wow, the Bears could have had Jaden Daniels. I mean, it's only fitting.
Yeah, we're going to get screwed. The great quarterbacks in that class went to the teams in our division that were bad that year, and we couldn't be that bad that year to grab one of those guys.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in other like really good drafts, like 2018, Josh Allen comes out of that draft, Lamar comes out of that draft, and now Baker and Sam Darnold doing great, but not on the Jets. Sam's not on the Jets anymore. So that's how it'll always be. Listen, I was looking at this quarterback class because, when you're 0-5, you don't really.
You got to look.
You got to start thinking about the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our choices are either overdraft a quarterback with the number 1 pick or take a safety. Like, is that really where we're at?
You get another pass rusher. Get it from Miami.
Or maybe we could take another lineman.
Yeah, you could take another lineman.
We could go lineman.
Yep.
Yeah, we could do that.
Swing tackle.
Like, it's gonna take a real long time for this franchise to be good.
Hopefully, you see one of these quarterbacks like Nussmeier or even Lenore Sellers. Maybe they have a big second half here. I mean, the season's still young. You never know who can, really shine in the last few months here. So hopefully, for your sake, I'm rooting for. I want you guys to get a quarterback.
Maybe we could get somebody else that becomes available via trade. I don't know. I'm just hoping. Honestly, looking back now, should entertain the Sammy D reunion. Would have been fun.
That would have been the same. It wouldn't have been the same.
We probably would have been.
So they would have, for you and for me to sit here and say they should make a move, get somebody that either needs to be paid or whatnot, a project per se, or not even a project, just somebody that needs a new contract and wants a change of scenery. They would have to show a lot more than they're showing now, because right now it looks like there's not much here.
No.
And I understand the quarterback is holding them back in a huge way, but you got to win a couple of games. The defense got to look a little better. And if that happens, then I can say, okay, maybe they are a quarterback away from just competing for a playoff spot, and then you make a move. But
yeah,
got to see that first.
You do.
Baseball time, JM. Baseball time. As we get to talk about the MLB postseason, super pumped. We'll start with the Yankees, obviously limited by the Blue Jays a couple days back. I felt like the Yankees were the better team on paper. I really did. I thought the Yankees were the better team. I thought they'd win the series. And it just kind of felt like the Blue Jays had their number, not only in this series, but all year, and matched up incredibly well against this team.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense because I really thought the Yankees were the better team all year. I mean, you looked at some of the numbers, things like run differential or anything else, team WAR, all that stuff. Yankees were the better team. And unfortunately, when you fall off a cliff for 60 days like the Yankees did in the middle of the year, you face these struggles where you put yourself in too big of a deficit. They end up coming all the way back and tying the lead for the division, but Blue Jays had the tiebreaker. So you put yourself in a bad spot there. And then but I don't think the Yankees giving up home field advantage was the reason why they lost this series. I mean, they just I want to sit here and give you like a breakdown of everything, but I can't. I really can't. At this point, I don't know what happens. So the narrative about the Yankees was, Aaron Judge is this amazing regular season player, and then he gets to the playoffs and he can't hit. But then, Giancarlo Stanton, just keep him around for a little bit, make sure he's healthy for the playoffs, and you know what you're getting out of it. And whatever, throw whoever else into that conversation, right? Even Anthony Volpe, for whatever reason, he plays well in the playoffs. And then the opposite happens. Like, Judge is looking like he's going on this 2009 A-Rod run in the playoffs. He's got a batting average that starts with a 5. His OPS is in the 13, in the Barry Bonds ranges, or at this point, the Aaron Judge ranges, but crazy high OPS. And nobody else on this team could hit. Like, you look at that Blue Jays pitching staff, that is a very middle of the road, top to bottom pitching staff, especially for a playoff team. That is a league average pitching staff. And they got mowed down by their staff. So I hate to call baseball a crapshoot because to me, I'm selling myself short as a fan who cares to just be like, it's okay, Yankees. It's a crapshoot. Get them next year, because we've been saying that for a really long time. But I genuinely can't put my finger on it as to how you have the best offense in baseball, like objectively the best offense in baseball. All the stats say you're the best offense in baseball, and you crumble against a mid pitching staff.
Well, no Bassett, no Berrios, bullpen good, not great.
Nope.
Like, you faced a bullpen game in Game 4 where you had the pitching advantage with Cam Schlittler on the mound. It doesn't add up to me. I completely agree with you. It just, again, it felt like they matched up well. Maybe the home field advantage did it. Maybe they would have stuck a game there in the first 2 if it was in New York. I don't know.
I don't know what it is. I'll be honest with you. Like, last year, I was heartbroken. I felt like it was finally the time we got to the World Series, right? And then the way we lost in such an embarrassing fashion in Game 5, and it was just like heartbreak. This year, I've almost forgot about it already. Like, you just get so used to it, and like numb to it. You have to just accept that this is what happens. But to me, I think the Yankees' biggest problem, and don't get me wrong, like, next year is going to be, they should be back next year, right?
Yeah.
About how disgusting.
It's be better next year.
That rotation is going to be like disgusting. They honestly should trade a starter for something, because they're going to have too many starters, and they got arms coming up through the minor league system that should be up here next year. But I think the Yankees' biggest problem since 2022 has been not being able to put a consistent winning product on the field. Whatever style of baseball they play, and I don't know, there are people who work for the Yankees that get paid money to figure these things out. They have not been able to put a product on the field that could repeatedly, over a short span of time, a medium span of time, or a long span of time, put consistent winning baseball on the field. And Mike, I know that, it's baseball, right? Like, you don't just win 6 out of 10 games every week and, do that repeatedly and make the playoffs. That's not how it works. Teams go through slumps. But 2022, like, this team, we were talking about them breaking the 98 Yankees win record.
Yep.
And then they limp into they don't even win 100 games, which the pace they were on was like 120. They limp into the postseason. They skate by the Indians, and then they get swept by the Astros, right? And then last year, middle of the year, we were talking about it when we went to the Islanders game last week, the hilarious Jahmai Jones, JD Davis lineup. And the Yankees are like, holy crap, is this team even going to make the playoffs? And then you have kind of the same phase this year in the middle of the year where it was like, this does not look like a playoff team. It was getting bad. They were embarrassing themselves. You can't have that happen. I just imagine, I would love to hear what you think about this. I think that's a byproduct of the way that this team is constructed, and they're too hot and cold, and they can't consistently be a good team.
Well, I think you're always in baseball, no matter how good you are, you're obviously going to go through cold spells, and you're going to get hot as well, but you can't crater like they did. And I completely agree with you. I mean, they cratered. They were really, really bad. One of the worst teams in baseball for about a month and a half. Obviously, I know the same thing happened with the Mets, although it extended. It was more than that. The Yankees pick themselves up. But when you get to the postseason, it did end up hurting them because they didn't win the division and they had to play those 3 extra games. And it is frustrating as a fan to watch that. The one thing I'll say, I agree with you. The roster, the way they have it, and it's because certain guys clog up certain positions. They're not the most well-rounded, constructed team in the league. You have 3 catchers at points this year, 2 catchers. You have a guy that can play first and catch, but you don't really trust him playing each of those positions. Yeah. Goldschmidt's playing against righties. It just doesn't mesh. Obviously, Stanton's got a DH, but Judge is hurt, so he's got a DH. Got to throw Stanton in right.
Yeah,
it sucks.
And they improved. They improved from last year. Like, we know that was the big problem, was this team has to be a fundamentally better baseball team. And I mean, they had a balanced lineup this year, and with righty lefty, if anything, they were a little lefty heavy, which is new for the Yankees. They've been right-handed heavy for so long. And their defense was better this year, but they still, especially in the middle of the year, in that Toronto series that ultimately lost them to the division, where they were just playing like horrible baseball. They looked like a little league team. Yeah. But I really don't know what is it that makes Cody Bellinger just not hit in the postseason? What is it that Trent Grisham hits 34 home runs, has a breakout year, and then he looks like 2024 Trent Grisham this year? Like, it's such a small sample size. It's a thing that sucks about baseball. Like, I was talking about this yesterday. If you take the series and the games in each series and compare them to the games in the regular season, right? So there are 162 regular season baseball games. The wild card round, for example, there are 3 games in that series. If you take that as a fraction of the total games in the regular season, that's the equivalent to, in football, a playoff game being like a quarter, being like ending the football game like 10 minutes into the second quarter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's 3 games versus 162. You're like, we just played this long ass season. Now we have 3 games to move on. So I think we've agreed on this. I'm not a big fan of the 16 playoff. I don't want to sound like that salty fan that's like, my team lost because of playoff format. But when you take the sport of baseball that has so many random outcomes and you add playoff rounds, it just makes it even more random. And we've seen it recently, the parity that's been in baseball. I don't know, Mike. It's just, to me, half of me wants to say this team needs to be built better, and the other half just says you got to just get a team into the playoffs and get a good team, and then whatever happens, happens.
That's what it is, though. That's what it is. And some teams are built for it. I feel like the Dodgers just built for it. They didn't play great against Philadelphia. They advanced, and the Dodgers are winning the World Series again. Yeah. They're gonna coast to it. They're gonna beat the hell out of the Brewers or the Cubs, and they're gonna be right back there against probably the Jays. It's random. It's very random. Unless you have this sort of super team in LA, then it's not random. Yeah. But not many teams are going to that length to spend that kind of money. Our teams are, but money's tied up in different places. The Dodgers are spending good money. Like the top dollars that they are spending, it's working out right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's you got to win it once and then like you get the experience and you could do it again. I don't know what it is. It just feels like if you took the Colorado Rockies and put them against the Los Angeles Dodgers in a best-of-5 series, and you had them do that series 20 times, I think the Rockies are winning that series more times than if the New York Jets played the Buffalo Bills in a divisional round game 20 times. I think the Jets are losing that game 19, if not 20 times. Right. Where I don't think the Rockies are losing that series 20 times.
No, probably
it's just the way baseball is.
It's tough. It's tough. It's random.
But that's the thing that drives you nuts. Is you're like, I'm pissed. Like, fix this team, figure it out.
How do you think the people that are their jobs rely on this and their livelihood rely on this? Yeah, that's gotta suck.
And now, like,
because there's no perfect answer.
Let's hit the big points that everybody wants to talk about now. What people are frustrated. They want changes to happen, right? I'm of the rare breed of Yankee fans where I've always said, like, I don't think Boone's the problem. And I once again, I think the Yankees firing Aaron Boone this offseason would be a waste. I think it would just be like, oh, look, here's a scapegoat. Changes are coming. I think Boone's a good manager. I think he actually did a pretty good job in the playoffs this year. The first game you could criticize him for, but at the same time, did anybody see how Jazz Chisholm played in the DS? Like, he had the one home run against the Blue Jays, but he booted a ground ball that ultimately, like, didn't even give us a shot to come back into that game. That play in game 3 where they hit the cutoff man and Jazz is just standing there with the ball. He doesn't realize that the guy's going home. So
he was yawning as well.
Yeah, right. He was yawning, all that stuff. So I think Boone did a good enough job. I think managers in baseball are more of a long-term, like, you got to look at they're a season-long kind of a manager. Like, the baseball season very long. You got to manage the long season and keep your guys' heads in it and kind of a thing. I think people that are like, oh, the Yankees lack fundamentals defensively. You really think that's Aaron Boone? That's the reason why they, boot ground balls. I think if there's anybody to blame for that, it's Brian Cashman, because he just doesn't have the good enough defensive players. I don't think the problem is Boone.
I've always been with you where I've liked Boone, and I think if Boone was fired tomorrow, that 5 teams are lining up to interview him, and I think a couple of teams are firing their manager to talk to him. I think that's how well respected he is around the league. And if you watch this postseason series, if you watch the end of this season and you thought that this was Aaron Boone's fault, you don't know what you're watching. So I'll just say that. And I think he's back next year. I think they really like him. I think the players love him. Obviously, ownership loves him, and Cashman likes him. And if any of this has been anybody's fault, if you want to blame somebody, I think we both would point to Cashman. And I'm not getting rid of him, because I think next year this team is truly constructed to be the best team in the American League and one of the best teams in baseball. Get Cole back, and hopefully he looks right. But either way, you're stepping into a great rotation. They'll probably bring Bellinger back. Yeah, it's going to be a really good team.
I think Grisham's gone. I think they bring Bellinger back. But honestly, I mean, you're not gonna see any changes in the rotation. I mean, the only change you'll see is maybe somebody will make the 5th spot over somebody else you thought was going to get it, kind of thing. But you're not going to see any major changes in the rotation. They have no reason to go get a starter.
No.
The bullpen will be the area where you see the most changes happen. Williams and Weaver are free agents. I actually think that there's a better chance that Williams comes back than Weaver. I think Weaver is pretty much out the door. And I would welcome Williams back, which is crazy because, I mean, this guy gave me multiple heart attacks this year and was ultimately like one of the biggest reasons we lost the division. But he looked like he really started to get comfortable later in the year. He was if not for Bednar, our most trusted reliever in the postseason and down the stretch. I mean, he was really good. So if you could get him back on a decently friendly contract, I would welcome that back. But on offense, I mean, any changes that happen, I think it's gonna be like the Yankees getting creative. I mean, you could entertain a Stanton trade. You could entertain somebody replacing Volpe. But for me with Volpe, like I really don't want to watch this guy play shortstop for another year. But I almost feel that unless there's a clear, significant upgrade to replace him with, you might as well just ride it out for another year and then, hand it off to Lombard when he's ready or something. Because I don't know. I don't know what your opinion on that is, but like, would you really rather bring like the 15th, 16th best shortstop in the league, whoever that may be, as a free agent or a trade to replace Volpe, or just ride out another year and be like, well, let's see what happens?
I need to bring somebody in that can compete with him, whether that's Caballero, who's going to be on the roster next year already, or it's another player that's brought into free agency. He cannot go into the year as the starting shortstop. He should play. He should get opportunities, but he should not be the starter. That job should not be handed to him next year. Okay. No chance.
I respect that. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
No chance.
How about this? I was throwing this out there yesterday. Whether Jazz is involved in the trade or not, he's going to have to make some sort of a change. So here's scenario number 1. big move of the offseason. You get the Diamondbacks on the phone.
Yep.
You trade for Marte and you move Jazz to center. Or Jazz is in the trade for Marte.
Does Jazz, Volpe, and Spencer Jones get the deal done?
Wow. Yeah, I think so. I mean, how much? I don't even know how many years Marte has left on his deal.
A couple, few.
Yeah, I think I would think that gets it done. Although they would have to sign Jazz back because he is a 1-year rental.
Right.
But
I'm giving you a player to compete next year. Giving you 3 players to compete next year. Jones, I'm assuming, will be ready at some point in 2026.
Yeah, but I mean, Jones to me, like they can't prospect hug anymore, right? Jones, even if he turns out to be a great player, what's Spencer Jones' ceiling, we think, right? It's like 240 hitter, 250 hitter, maybe 35 to 40 home run guy. He's going to strike out 200 times. Like, I don't know if that's what this team needs. I don't think they need another 40 homer guy who's going to strike out a lot, right?
Trade him.
So, let him go. Go get some big league talent.
I forgot Dominguez is on the team, by the way.
Yeah. Well, he's a contender for the starting center fielder next year now.
I completely forgot they employed him until I saw him on the handshake line after the win on Tuesday.
Yeah, one at bat. He's got the best OPS in like Yankees postseason history.
Look at him. Good for look for Jason.
Yep.
All right. I think game 5s. Any predictions here? We have the big game 5s. Cubs, Brewers, and tonight you have Tigers, Mariners, Skubal on the mound in game 5.
Think the Tigers take it.
Wow.
I like the team with the better pitcher. Always do. And I would love that. I would really. Out of the AL, the Tigers are the team I'm rooting for. I would like to see them get, even though AJ Hinch, I can't stand him, but Glaber's on the Tigers, Tommy Kahnle, some former Yankees there. So I'd like to see them get there. I think the Cubbies take it, Mike. I really like the Cubs. I think this team is all year. I've just been fascinated by their lineup. They can really hit, and that pitching staff has really shown that it could be good in October. There were some major concerns, especially around the deadline about that rotation, but they've kind of gotten their act together a little bit. So I like the Cubs to take it. I know it's going to be a tough environment for them on the road, and they lost the first 2 games of the series on the road, but we all know that game 5s are just anybody's contest, obviously. So
they got
I would love to see Cubs Dodgers.
They got dominated in that in the first 2 games there. I predicted them to win the series prior to the series starting, and I was like, damn, look like an idiot. They have no chance, but they definitely bounced back. I'll say the Brewers win a close game, and I'll take the Mariners tonight. I'll go completely opposite of you. I think the Mariners get the job done. Polanco had the 2 home runs against Mr. Skubal there. I think they get to him a little bit. Short rest. They've been pitching him on 5-6 days rest here. Skubal, it's just shorter rest, so I'll take the Mariners tonight.
Yeah. It's gonna be a must watch. I can't wait to watch that game.
Maybe we'll be together. We'll watch together.
Maybe we'll be. And you know what? I said this when we were driving. You know, I went to the game on was it Thursday? No, today Wednesday. Went to the game on Wednesday, and second time I've seen the Yankees get eliminated from the playoffs. I was at game 4 in 2022 when they lost to the Astros in the CS. And it's just, long car ride home. You're just reflecting on the season, thinking about everything. And I'm like, I'm done with baseball, man. Like for the year, like not like for the rest of my life, but I'm like, I want to watch these other games and whatever. And I still feel that way a little bit. Like I don't care as much. I've never really have, because the Yankees are always in it. And this always happens to me. They lose. And I'm like, well, screw it. If I'm not happy, I'm not going to be happy for another team.
Right.
But a big game like this, as I go out of focus again, a big game like this, got to be excited to watch it. I mean, it's going to be a must watch.
Normally, my team's out of it, so I love the MLB playoffs. I'm always locked in, and a lot of hate watching. I mean, hate watching's done, but
yeah, right.
Successful hate watches. Successful day for us. Unbelievable from the Giants. The Phillies go down big time. We will talk to you guys next week. Hope you enjoyed the listen. JM's Blurry. Check us out everywhere. Social media, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you get your podcasts. Talk to you guys next week.